Welcome to Consciousness Co-Creates. In this episode, I'm in conversation with my dear friend Morag Scally of Indigo Spring, who recently returned from a solo pilgrimage to the north, a journey that became far more than a physical trip. What you're about to hear begins in a slightly different way. Morag opens by reading her story aloud in a style reminiscent of those old storytelling programs like Jackanory, where we simply sit and listen. It's poetic, layered and deeply evocative, so I invite you to slow down, perhaps even close your eyes, and allow yourself to be transported. Her journey weaves through sacred sites in the northeast of England and up into Scotland, from caves and cathedrals to standing stones and wind-swept shores. Along the way, themes of Maiden, Mother and Crone emerge. Ancestry calls her home, and songs begin to arrive as if gifted by the land itself. This conversation explores pilgrimage as initiation, the reclaiming of voice, folk song as collective healing, and what happens when we truly listen to the call of a place. It's a story about following the pull of the north, about memory and lineage, about spirit and stone, and about the mysterious way consciousness co-creates when we say yes. I hope you enjoy watching this as much as we enjoyed sharing it.
"Come," she said. "Come and find me. I've been waiting for you." "Come," they called, "across the land, across the sea. I need you." "Who, me? Surely not. What do I know?" "Oh, you know all you need." So I went, followed my nose, asking at each turn, "This way?" And each time they told me, with twinkles and shudders, movement and purpose, to begin. I found an old cave where the old wise woman once lived, beside the petrifying well where all turned to stone. The child was born and raised, shunned, then revered. Calcium carbonate dripping and Ursula sooth-tell, Mother Shipton foretold. 500 years ago. Wise woman witch, seed is sown. From the very depths of the earth, the rock, the water, the stone, the movement, the flow. And I must go. To grand old York, and across the moor, wild wind and sunlight sing. More stones poke out their heads to say, "Hello, this way, way to go." Abbey Headland, Whitby shore, tales of snakes and vampires, and woman walled up for her so-called sins. The signals are strong. This way, I'll show you the way. Majestic hall, you take my breath, one of many pilgrims receiving the cross of St. Cuthbert. Durham Cathedral, I sit with you in prayer and receive your blessings. And on I go. The bridges are calling, the waters of Tyne remind. I was once your maiden home, and each home called to me to witness and gently nod its appreciation and knowing for my journey, maybe home. The pull north is strong, voice is louder, "Go on, go on." And I stop in the dunes, castle ahead, and ask the North Sea to hold me safe. arriving at Causeway, awaiting the tidal retreat, crossing over to the sacred isle Lindisfarne. Come and sing to us, wake us. I want to dance and smile with you. In your priory, your lime kilns, castle and beaches, the sunlight glints, sharing the layers upon layers upon layers. More? Do I want more? Oh yes, much more, much more. Roslin Chapel, Holy Grail, Mary Magdalene. Patterns upon patterns, graphic spells, woven and hidden even now. Magic is rising. We are protected, if we ask. Strength and gratitude. Open the door, step out for a moment and reconnect. Share the land anew, old as time. And on, and the roads cut through the epic hills, mountains and sky, so wild, so free, and detoured me to a place of grief. What to say, just to be. And on, where lines converge to the hidden rock. Sing to me of sweet things, said the mother. Sing me your songs, and I will take them to light up the lay. Go on, and I knew then, if I hadn't before, that I truly was heading to the very top, northwest Scotland, where Uncle Tom had gone, with his croft and peat. And then I was there, pilgrim, song weaver, protection cloak and sacred guidance. And I chanted and I sang and praised these crones of stone. Wandering the golden road of women working their tweed, singing in the news and rhythmically weaving the fabric of life with the colours of their land. And cross the sea once more. Flora MacDonald, take me to the Fae, that they may bless and enchant, whipping up the elements to amplify and resonate. Ring out your bells, give me strength and peace. But still there is more. And on, across the sea, 1, 2, 3. And here at last, the final place. The veil is thin, the sky is vast. Droplets of water sparkle everywhere. The wind and the rain, the red granite and the bright, bright sun. And they were there, both as one. The greatest of all spirits, the bigness of the one. And I was there, and it was love. Nunnery, abbey, monastery and stones, red granite stones, vibrating high in the darkness, welcoming all. Simplicity, humility.
Wow. Covered in goosebumps right here.
I like the drip. That's
well.
Thank you, nature.
It was
added to the atmosphere.
Yes. Well, with the cave.
Yeah.
The dripping.
Yeah. Calcifying. Petrifying.
Feels magical.
It was a magical trip.
You've transported me. I think for anyone watching this will feel transported, transmuted. There's so many layers to what you're sharing with us. So, Morag, amazing Morag. Hello.
Hi, Alex. Thank you for coming.
It's so lovely to be with you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for inviting me to connect with you over your journey, your pilgrimage into your true self and connecting with the oneness. And you've just shared this story with us, and it's comforting, it's profound, it's wild and woolly and rough weathered and craggy and stony and wise and womanly.
Thank you.
There's so many aspects to it. So can you share with us a little bit about you and what drew you to this pilgrimage in the first place?
Thank you. I've lived in Newcastle several times, once when I was between 3 and 6, and then from 18 to 24. So it was where I was young, my maiden stages. It also was where I changed from maiden to mother. It's where my daughter Nancy was born. We still have family up there. And I'd been really drawn to go to Scotland, but I was really kept coming in, go to the northeast of England as well. And it turned out, as it happened, it felt like I was on this journey, almost reliving my early part of life. So going to Whitby and Durham Cathedral, these are things from my childhood. Newcastle, I met up with some family members. I went to see my grandparents' grave. And up to Lindisfarne, that's where we took baby Nancy when she was little, but also where I went as a child. And I was worried that a 2-week trip might be too long for me on my own and in the car. But actually, when I got as far as the northeast, I knew I was going to go. And I'd always wanted to go to the Outer Hebrides. So I had made this plan that I was going to go to sacred sites, and both sacred in the Christian tradition, but also in the pre-Christian traditions of the land. We've got loads of standing stones in the UK, and lots of centres that are really energetic and powerful, places like Avebury and Glastonbury, and I've been around the country with you, Alex, actually, haven't we? We've been together to Cornwall and to Wales, and looking for these places that just feel great. So I wanted to do that again, but with the north and with West Scotland.
Yes.
So Scotland's also part of our family heritage. We know that on both lines we've got Scottish ancestry. And I really feel that although I'm not Scottish, it's part of me.
Yes.
This chair was the carver chair, the dad's chair in the farmhouse in southwest Scotland, in Lanarkshire, where my great-great-great-grandfather would have sat.
Wow.
So I love that I've got this chair. That's why I chose to sit on it for today.
Thank you. So you went solo in a car.
Yep.
Journeying up to your original roots and then exploring beyond those roots in sacred sites. And you're a very intuitive, creative and a healer. And you connect with the land in such a deep and profound way. You sing to the land. The land sings to you.
Sings to me too, yeah.
So where did you get your first song on your journey?
The first song was at Mother Shipton's cave at the Petrifying Well, which hadn't been on the plan. And then I thought, oh, I've never been there. I'm going to read that story up. And it seemed perfect because she was born there and it was on the way. I'd never been to Knaresborough, where it is. And apparently that's the first ever tourist destination, tourist attraction.
Oh.
So she was in the 1400s, 1500s.
Yeah.
But by 1620 or something, it was a tourist destination because of her.
I don't know who Mother Shipton is. Who is she?
She was a soothsayer, or she could tell the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there were stories of her about, she'd predict things like boats made of metal going across the seas. Excuse me, it could be 1400s, it could be 1500s, I can't remember. Probably 1500s.
Yeah. And maybe
But it was pre-witch trials.
I was going to say, was it before it got scary to be a soothsayer then?
Yes, but she had her mother, Agatha, and the surname was something along the lines of Soothtel, as in soothsayer, as in fortune teller.
Oh.
So it's obviously picked
It's
up
in her
because
lineage,
of that,
maybe,
in her
yeah.
lineage.
Okay.
And her mother had got pregnant underage, and because she refused to say who the father was, she got shunned. And she found this cave along the river and gave birth to Ursula, Mother Shipton, there. And then later on, someone had taken her in. But Ursula would go back, Mother Shipton would go back to this cave throughout her life. It was really special to her. And people would come far and wide to get their fortunes told.
Wow, that's amazing. And Ursula is quite an ancient name as well, isn't it?
It's very ancient, yeah.
Yeah, it rings some bells. I can't remember where. Maybe, do you know anything about Ursula?
I don't know that Ursula. I know Agatha, which was her mother, and Agatha's an old witch name.
Yeah, it just...
In folklore, there's another Ursula, isn't there? There's an old story with another.
Yeah, I think maybe we can look that up and find something. Because her first... Yeah, so you got your first song there.
I was walking through the beech trees, which was... it was like a beech tree avenue. I think it was part of the king's hunting land or something. And the trees whispered to me and sang to me. This is something I've been really leaning into as I've got older. And as I've journeyed to come back to my voice after years of not really being able to be comfortable with it. A couple of years ago, songs would just pop up when I was out and about.
Yeah.
Always outside, always in nature. And a song from somewhere in my life that I knew would pop into my head. And I started to call this, I used to describe it as the songs were dropping in. I was being gifted the songs.
Yes.
So whatever your belief system,
Yeah.
they arrived when they were buried.
Absolutely.
And from that, I started going to places that I found were really special, sacred to me, and asking if I could have a song or could create a song. And when I was down at yours last year in Cornwall, sea shanties were coming. Each beach I went to that was magical, a different sea shanty would turn up that I composed. So I did a whole suite of Cornish sea shanties last year.
Yes.
And then we went to Wales and we had that big dragon epic poem.
Yes.
Up
Yes.
at Bardsey Island. And this year's, they're all really lilting folk songs. They've got a real childlike quality to them. There's the whole series. I've deliberately kept them simple. I wanted maybe the possibility of a group of less experienced musicians being able to play them, or less experienced singers to be able to sing around in a circle, around the fire, in their singing group, in their choir, and just to feel like these were some new songs to add to the repertoire. Since I've been back, and I've been working on this little project, people have been linking me to other similar things. one of my therapy clients is a lute player from Scotland.
Wow.
And he, on hearing my stories, has sent me some BBC Scotland recordings of some women working this tweed. We haven't got to that yet, but I'll tell you about working in a minute. But he sent me some original footage that was out only in BBC Scotland, and he only knows about it because he's doing his PhD on the lute music of Scotland.
Wow.
Someone else said, oh, did you know Nancy Kerr, daughter of Sandra Kerr of Bagpuss fame, Madeline, the voice of Madeline and the composer of all the songs of Bagpuss, which we love.
Yes.
Nancy's her daughter, and she also works at the University of Newcastle. Again, another connection. And she is working together with what they've called song detectorists from around the country.
Fantastic.
So BBC Radio 3, look them up, song detectorists. They've gone to each different county, and interested people have been delving into the archives and into people's attics and finding old songs. And Nancy Kerr and the Melrose Quartet have have arranged them and are now performing them around, but really, really old, lovely folk songs. So the more I delve into this topic for my own joy, the more it's giving me back.
That's amazing. That is incredible, because you're getting these sort of bits of wonderful feedback, aren't you? And just expanding the line of consciousness and sort of expanding your awareness and joining up those wonderful dots with different musicians and artists. And there's something about folk music. It's the music of the land. And
it's
of
the people, of the folk.
Yeah.
It's not exclusionary.
No.
It's very inclusive.
And timeless.
And very... It's of the soul, isn't it? Of the heart and the soul.
Yes. And the stories that move us, some of the stories are so sad, but they help us process our sad. And then you can have something joyful and celebratory that you just can't stop stomping your feet to.
And storytelling, dancing, singing, making music together was the early version of psychology and psychotherapy.
Yes.
We would learn through the tales of being told these epic tales and the archetypes that come into stories. Stories follow patterns usually, and there's different types, which, you know, I'd learned about over the years, just like there are different song types. So folk songs might be a working song that's rhythmical to keep us on task and keep us in line and together. Very much like the sea shanties were for hauling rope and hoisting the sails.
Yes.
There's working songs. There's also there's working songs. There's lullabies. There's laments. Oh, I'm sad, I've lost my love. These are timeless things. And as somebody who's worked in the arts for most of my life and been a creative person for most of my life, I really feel that we need to be careful not to lose those elements as we go forward. And it's great that we've got some new areas of science that we explore, but we can bring them together. It seems such a shame to not be teaching creativity or creating opportunities for creativity with people. I think on a small scale community level, this is happening. Lots of people are going and joining choirs for fun. You don't have to be a trained singer, you don't have to be able to read music, you can do all these things. But I think on a larger scale, it's not being encouraged. I think there's so much tech development going on. I'm not worried, but I'm aware that I would hate to see the arts disappear and people's direct engagement for themselves in it.
There's something about that direction and like that communion almost between the performer and the live audience. And so when you're in that dialogue together, it's unspoken, but it's felt. And it can be really powerful, transformative, intimate. And maybe what we're saying is something about reclaiming that sense of intimacy with each other as community, sharing our creative gifts, whatever they may be, whether it's singing, cooking, gardening. It's I think a lot of people are feeling drawn to that more grassroots, simpler way of being, the way we used to be.
Simplicity, humility. There we go.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Just thought of that.
Yes.
By coming back to finding something that you just love for the sake of loving it. You might work at it and try and get better at it. But certainly through this process and writing new songs and recording them, I've really felt that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about the process, the joining in, the feeling, being present in that moment. The 5 songs that I wrote, original songs on this Scottish pilgrimage, I was looking for some musicians to put together a band to record them. I have previously played in all sorts of musical ensembles, but not a folk one, and I'm not a string player. And folk music really relies on stringed instruments.
Fiddles.
Fiddles. I didn't get a fiddle in the end, but I've got a double bass and a banjola.
Lovely.
And a bodhran drum and an accordion. And my intention was to ask around, say, hey, do you fancy coming and recording some songs with me? And serendipity threw it all at me, and I found a whole band who were prepared to meet together and do this for me. They're a folk band, and they hold ceilidhs. They're called the Ramshackle Band over in Whitchurch in Berkshire.
Great.
And then on 3 lovely evenings, they sat with me in their recording studio, and we learnt and arranged and performed these songs.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So they're really
and they're
close.
new people to me.
Yes.
I'd known one woman when I used to teach music years ago. A different band of hers we'd asked to come and play for a festival with the children.
That's amazing. Yeah. So tell us a bit more about your first song.
So the first song that I wrote was on Bamborough Beach, where I was going to stay the night in my car camping, my new thing. And I sat on the beach and I recorded the sea. And I still was doubting myself a little. Really? Can I really do this? Can I really go off into the wilds of Scotland and the islands on my own and write songs? So I wrote a song that was a conversation between me and the sea and the wind, and saying, will you look after me if I do this? And they both whispered back to me, you are safe, you are safe.
Oh, wonderful. And so you got that feedback, just
immediately.
Instant feedback.
From the sea. I don't often get the sea talking to me. I get a sense more often than on the land or stones, really, really strongly. Sea less so, but just on that wild North Sea.
Oh, it's an epic coastline.
It's an epic. That Northumberland coastline is epic.
It's
and this was on Bamborough Beach.
Wild beauty.
With Bamborough Castle in the distance.
Amazing. So what was this first song about? What did come through?
It's a 2-voice thing. Introduction with sea, will you hold me? You are safe. Wind, will you hold me? You are safe. And then the next bit is done in a round or a canon. So there's 2 verses that interweave into each other. And it's the first time one of those has come to me to write in canon form. And it's crazy doing it on your own because you don't know if it's going to fit. It wasn't until the day we recorded with Sarah with the second voice that I knew that it worked.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it did. It did.
And a lot of the work I've done over recent years is about letting go of troubles. When you have troubles, as traumas people say sometimes, but troubles in your life, your body often holds on to them. Unless you've got a way of processing them, getting it out, your body will hold on to these traumas. Mm. And I've done a lot of work on that in my therapy business, doing body work, doing massage therapy, and looking at how you release physical blocks, pain. People come to me in pain. It's just there between my shoulders. Can you help me with that pain? And I've done a lot of work with trauma specialists like Gabor Mate and Bessel van der Kolk about different ways. And it keeps coming back to embodiment, physically releasing it, crossing over, clapping, moving, singing, walking, all those things are really, they're helping your body release the things that, the troubles that they've kept tight inside, which can cause disease.
Yes.
So let's get rid of those troubles before they take root. And it's not too late to do it. Do it when you like, when you've got time.
And how did it feel when you were recording that about letting go?
I felt like I was releasing. So I first sang them just into my voice memo on my phone in location. They come to me, I sing them. Then I will dictate them down so I've got the words, and then sometimes I'll play around a bit and say, oh, the meter didn't work there. There was too many syllables in that line. I don't move much around.
No.
And sometimes I forget the tune that I'd done the first time, so it'll become a new tune. But by the time I've sung it a few times, it'll have settled on which notes it wants to be.
Absolutely. So when you downloaded and processed, captured and embodied that first song, what took you forward on your next part of your journey?
I think I felt there was more to sing. Much, much more to sing. And the next song didn't come for quite a few days after that. It was really about me driving north and making decisions in the moment. Am I going to stop here? Am I going to sleep in the car tonight? Or am I going to get an Airbnb? I did 3 Airbnbs over the 12 days that I was away, which was really nice.
Yes.
I didn't really want to be in accommodation. I wanted to be outdoors, which is why I was in the car. I have bought a big car for this purpose. It's not a little Fiat or something. But yeah, each song was telling me the next bit of the message. And at each place that a song did come, there was a sense of I was being told the next secret in the journey. It was like I was being a detectorist myself. Or I can't think what would you call somebody like Indiana Jones? What's his job?
Well, he's an explorer.
Explorer. I felt like an explorer and I was getting clues.
As well as an archaeologist, but it's mainly exploring.
Yes, it was that.
It?
I couldn't think of the word.
Yes. And it's putting one foot in front of the other, making decisions in the present moment.
It's an amazing thing. If you ever get a chance to go away on your own, it's a really interesting thing. Suddenly, you decide when you eat and stop or lie down, or walk, or rest, or everything. And you can change your mind. You don't have to tell anybody. So the day after the Bamborough, the following day I was up just south of Edinburgh. I'd gone to see Roslin Chapel. That's the chapel that was featured in the Da Vinci Code. It's the one that those adventurers, explorers, believed the Holy Grail was hidden. So there's lots of myths and stories around this. But I also get really excited about old tales. And I find these days I'm not limited to things I know to be factual with evidence. I'm quite open to the idea that the origin of these old stories has come from somewhere. And at some point we might work it out. But it's fun to explore it, even if we don't really know.
That reminds me a bit of the stories of the giants of Cornwall.
Yes.
And then they found a giant-sized, remains of somebody in a grave. So there's some interesting stories found that way.
And the standing stones, various ones. So the roll-right stones in Oxfordshire, they're known as like the King's Men or something. And there's legends, these stories that stones are people that were turned to stone. And there's a link between Mother Shipton story and there. Now, they might never have, it's a long way away from Oxfordshire to Knaresborough. Knaresborough's up near York. She might never have gone that far. I don't know that people did travel in those days that far. But maybe the storyteller, the troubadours, the wandering minstrels that would take stories and songs around the lands, maybe the idea of the king's men being turned to stone got jumbled up in the story with Mother Shipton's cave that literally turns things to stone in front of your eyes. So there could be a connection there.
Absolutely. So you're up in Edinburgh.
I'm up in Edinburgh. I see this intricate church that wasn't allowed to be photographed. This was very unusual in Britain.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd not come across a place where they said no photos inside, no filming.
Wow.
So I took a sketch pad and started to draw little patterns that I was seeing. And then in the end, I did an interpretive drawing that was what I felt rather than what I could see. And I got a really strong sense of the name Sarah. And there was a sense of a cloaked woman. So it was kind of archway shaped like this with the cloak coming off her. Really, really strong woman energy.
Okay.
And then a little detour to the west and up to Inverness.
So you're getting further up then?
It's a long way up. Going up the A9, right up the central spine of Scotland.
Yes.
And the place I went to, Loch Moy, I'd never heard of.
I've not heard of that loch.
It wasn't... The reason it came in as a place to add to this journey. Here comes the rain again. Hello. I'd seen a map of the ley lines in Scotland. Ley lines, for those who've not come across them, are... There are points and then lines between them, and the points are all very special places historically. And different people have different ways of explaining what it is. And again, like I was saying, I don't mind that we haven't perhaps got all the science yet to know that they're there. Dowsers use it for divination, who do using divining rods, are getting a really positive energetic signal from it. And this is one of the reasons I was choosing how I was choosing my sacred sites. So Lindisfarne's on a ley line, as a point on a ley line. Roslyn Chapel was. And all these other places that I was intending to go were all on these magical points of ley lines. And so I saw this picture, and all the ones around were on the edge of Scotland, except one, which was at Loch Moy. So there's this lake, loch, and in the middle of the lake is an island. And on the island is a menhir or megalith, a massive, massive stone that's been put there deliberately.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I have to go, don't I? Because it's where they all cross.
Oh.
So I went to Loch Moy, and I really wanted to go on the island, and I am the kind of person who would probably find a way. I was talking to somebody who lived there in their garden and saying, where can I get a boat? How can I go across? And she said, no, they really don't want you to. There are osprey nesting. And it's a good story, osprey nesting, because most of us, people who like the outdoors, wouldn't want to disturb a nesting rare bird. But something inside me was saying, I think that's a little story that's made up to keep people away. No idea if that's true or not, but my instinct was they don't want you on that point. So I sang to it from the banks of Loch Moy. And another releasing song came. Second releasing song.
Okay.
I was clearly on the path. And this one felt like it was the mother. If Newcastle had been the Maiden moment, Loch Moy was the mother moment. Absolute, real, holding everything together. And I asked Loch Moy, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do next? What's the plan? And the message I got was, sing songs, please. Sing me some more songs. I gave you this gift of being a singer from childhood. Why have you stopped singing? Please sing. And that's really nice for me, having had years of not feeling like I could sing. So it was really nice to get back in there.
Yes. There's such a release and relief. You know, to go from not being able to singing to the land, singing to the mother, and getting that feedback, having that dialogue through song. Oh, it must have been very reassuring.
The whole journey I felt held, loved, reassured. And some friends, when I told them of this pilgrimage I was going on, is it an organised one? No, it's me and my car. Are you not going to be scared on your own? I was like, no. Which again, isn't that fascinating? Going into the wilds of nature, not scared at all. No. Going into London, on the underground, still is terrifying.
Yes, not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
So when you were up there singing to this beautiful island, this sacrosanct island, let's say, that seems to hold all the ley line points in Scotland and be the anchor, be the bowl to sort of harmonise and maybe process that. Where did you get drawn to next on your next expanded?
So then I knew I was going to the top.
Ooh.
And I went all the way, I can't remember how many hours of driving, maybe three more hours of driving, right the way to Ullapool, which is on the northwest of the mainland Scotland, where I spent the night before I took an early morning boat across to the Isle of Lewis in Outer Hebrides.
What's it like there? How did it feel to land there?
Oh,
So you were called there.
I was called there, and Lewis is wild, bleak, wild, windswept. There's so much sky up there. It's quite flat. Lewis is quite flat, and craggy. And there is so much light. You can see why people go there and have time out and have their little hermit moments. And I went straight to the Callanish stones.
Oh, now I've not been to these, but they're very well known. They kind of look intact.
They
You
are
see a
intact. There's
picture
a
of them,
full
which is rare.
circle of them and a pathway going up to them, like a processional thing. So stone circles, people are not definitely sure what happened there, but energetically, that all the stone circles right across all of the Celtic lands, so Scotland, Britain, Wales, Ireland, and Britain, Cornwall, and Brittany, all that. There are so many standing stones which have been put there. They didn't occur like in the Ice Age or before then when the mountains moved. It wasn't from then. It was later than that, apparently. And we think they might be a place of ceremony or celebrations. But they're also aligned to the stars at the time that they believed they were placed there. So there's lots of stories still to come on them.
Lots of cosmic connections that people are starting to delve into more and more.
Yes.
A bit like the pyramids and the Orion.
Yes.
It's
the alignment. It is as if the people who created them wanted to align with something in space.
Yes. Yes. And it wasn't just functional astronomy, it was something mystical.
The geometry of the shapes, the maths of the shapes align with the geometry of planets.
Amazing.
Exciting stuff.
So Callanish, tell us about these stones. You see them in pictures, but...
Callanish stones, so I'm 5 foot tall. I think they were 9 feet tall, nearly twice me tall, some of them. And they're up on a headland right at the northwest of the island. And they are strong. They call to you before you get there. You're almost racing to get there. I want to be there. I want to be there. And they said to me very quickly, I was getting word play. The word Kailach or Kailash, which is the Gaelic word for old wise woman, Crone, the old one. And Kailash and Callanish, in my head it was like, it's the same word. It's the same derivative. So Kailach is the crone, the old woman, the hag archetype. And I thought, and that is when I looked back and thought, so Newcastle was Maiden and Lochmoy was Mother and this is Crone. So I was almost tracing the ages of woman. You could do it with man. And I sang to the stones and I recorded lots of free chanting where I wasn't planning what I was going to say. In the same way that an artist might do free drawing to see what happens. I was doing that with my voice and seeing what came. And then the Callanish Stones song came. And the Callanish Stones song is a bit like Ring a Ring of Roses.
Oh, wow.
It's as you go round.
That feels right. Yeah,
and the rhythm of it, so it's in 6/8 time signature. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 which a lot of folk songs are, but it has this spinning energy that keeps turning around. So I stayed there quite a while, twinkling and sparkling like you do. That good. And then I never really understood until I went there. The island is called Lewis and Harris.
Oh.
And I'm like, are there two islands then? And my mum would always say, no, it's one island, Lewis and Harris. The top half is Lewis, the bottom half is Harris. Okay. And when I drove down the island, Lewis and Harris are joined by a really short, maybe 20 to 50 metres of land. That's it. So it's an almost island, and I can see why they said, no, we're different than you. This is our island. And Harris is the place where Harris tweed comes from. If you've seen country gents wearing, or your Peaky Blinders type people wearing tweed, this has come from the Isle of Harris right up there. And this is a length of fabric that I brought back from there. And this is your traditional Harris tweed colour. And the reason I wanted to bring it back is because it's the colour of the landscape. When you look at the photos of Harris, it literally is these colours.
Wonderful.
And back to the people, the women, mainly women, who made the tweed. There's still hand making tweed there. It's still cottage industries.
Brilliant.
But back in the day, you'd weave your tweed on your loom. And when it was woven, the bonds between the threads would be quite loose. And so there was a process that they would do, and they would do it collectively, where they wanted the fibres to bond more tightly against the fierce wind and rain up there.
Yes.
Which is fierce.
They even have a special word, blowing a hoolie.
Blowing a hoolie, they say in Scotland. Yeah, blowing a hoolie. So they'd sit round and with a huge length of this, and they would do this. I think like kneading dough. And they'd sing a song, a working song, that was, and they call this process working as well.
Oh, right.
Diddly diddly, pass it on to the next one, and you're passing this length of fabric. So each piece of the fabric would get bonded with everybody's getting a moment on every bit. A bit like the same idea as stirring the stew pot, the casserole pot, and put your love into the food. It was like put the binding into your fabrics.
Wow. And they're still doing that today?
I think they do the working a bit by machine now, but they still weave it there.
But the songs must have generated.
But the songs that come, I got these songs sent from my lute playing friend.
Oh, right.
Some really old ones.
Yes.
And they tend to be, the form of the song would be gossip. Locals gossip.
That's
so you've all
fun.
got together, and line one will be the caller, and they'll tell you a bit of gossip. And then there'll be a diddly diddly dee response from the rest of the group. And then you might say a bit more about the gossip. And then this happened, and pass it on, and pass it on. Then you have a diddly diddly chorus to keep going. So the next day, I'd just crossed over from Harris to Skye, which you can go directly. And I went to the Fairy Glen, this beautiful bit of landscape. And I decided that the fairies were going to have a working song. So I wrote my next song, The Fairy Glen, was a working song, because I'd just learnt about the form of these kind of folk songs, and mixed with how I felt about being on Skye, which is the land of the fae, or the fairy folk.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Oh, I think they've still got fairies on their flag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're really owning.
Brilliant.
There's lots of community developments and investment going into that area about community development, and people all want the ferry. Ferry's big news.
Brilliant.
It's really magical.
That is fantastic. So you had this song as a gift for them.
It's one of my favourites.
Oh, tell us a bit about it then.
Wow. It's about the fairy folk and how I felt on their fairy glen, which is a series of really odd, naturally occurring mounds, like cones that were perhaps 10 metres high, all over this little dell. And then there was a promontory with a big rock on that was known as Merlin's Castle, even though it was never a built castle, but it was a headland thing. But it looked significant, so I climbed up there. It was the only day it rained the whole pilgrimage.
Oh, wow.
I was in there.
Okay.
I said I didn't mind. And then one of my favourite characters, Morgan Le Fay, she's from the King Arthur stories, and she embodies a very witchy spirit, which I quite like. I got a sense of her there, and the enchantment of the land. Skye feels very different than Lewis and Harris. It feels magical.
Oh, okay.
The
name feels...
It feels...
ethereal
and magical. And it is.
Wow.
And like all these islands in the Hebrides, Inner and Outer Hebrides, you have to really want to go. Because even if you lived in Glasgow or Edinburgh, it's still quite a haul, quite a drive.
So you're definitely going in that direction. It's not on the way to anywhere.
No, it's on the edge of the... But when people came across from the Northlands, from Norway, Denmark area, and they came over across from Orkney, which is north of Scotland, I was on the west, and down through the Western Isles, down into Ireland, Isle of Man, Wales, Cornwall. So their land was almost the whole of our West UK.
Oh, okay.
From top to bottom.
Right.
And down to Brittany as well.
Yes. Interesting.
So there's a lot of similar traditions and imagery, like my brooch I got from one of the islands. These knotwork that
The Celtic
knotwork.
Yeah.
You see this sort of symbology. It's from the Book of Kells.
Okay, hold one moment, because the microphone...
Oh, I'm
sort of keep
doing
it
a thing.
open. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, so is that from the Book of Kells then?
This is a design from a jeweller on one of the islands, taken from the idea of the Book of Kells.
Oh.
And the Book of Kells is how we first know about knotwork.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
It's also on the stones.
Yes.
So in a lot of these sacred places, there'll be knotwork carved into the stones.
And it's like an infinite sort of combination of almost Mobius loop.
Yes.
Journeying, isn't it?
Yes,
follow
they're
knots.
quite spell-like. In the same way that you might weave a spell or weave a poem, let's say a poem that's more relevant to many people, or a song. You're weaving the lines and the chorus comes back and it's familiar. And they were doing this with their art, their visual art.
Oh, wonderful.
And completion.
It's beautiful. So you've got these almost, they feel like artefacts from your pilgrimage.
They feel like artefacts.
Yes, yes. And so you were in Skye, enveloped in the fey, mystical, magical space. And what happened next? Where did you extend
So
into?
I'd gone over there in the evening, and I knew that the next day I wanted to go and see, there's an area of rocks that are really tall in Skye called the Old Man of Storr, Storr. And there are lots of folk tales about the Man of Storr. He was a giant, allegedly. We're back to giants. And this little outcrop next to the big mountain looks like they say it's his hand. And there's this crookedy fingers, and there's some beautiful photos taken of there. And I decided I'm going to go up there first thing in the morning. So I slept by the roadside, a few miles south of there, and I was asleep. And it was still dark. And then cars kept going past me. I was thinking, why is the cars? It's still dark. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be here. Actually, maybe I'll just get up, move the car. Don't want to get into trouble. In Scotland, you can wild camp anywhere. They're really laid back, unless it says not in this car park. But mostly you can wild camp anywhere. The theory, as always, is leave no trace. So don't leave anything behind. And also turn up late and leave early. Respect the land and the people who actually live there. By car 4 or 5, whizzing past, I worked it out. They were going to climb Store for the dawn. Flap your hands moment.
Yeah.
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 I want to do that. I'm coming. Have I got time? Will it matter? Will I be able to do it in time? So I pulled a few miles further up, got out the car, put lots of layers on. It was dark still. It was 5:30. And I began to walk up this hill. I had no idea how long it would take. But there were quite a few other people doing it, and I'm not that fit, so I'm not used to doing big pulls up hills. I got 2/3 of the way. I thought, I can hardly breathe. I don't know if I can do this. And one of the other walkers were like, you can do this, just get your breath back. You're going to make it. Dawn lasts ages here. It's not a quick gone, on or off. Okay. And I get to the top, there's perhaps 50 of us for dawn at the Old Manor Store, waiting for the sun to come up. And I waited for the light to hit the side of the hill and pop the greens and the pink in the sky and the way it hit a cloud. And I've got a lovely selection of photos from that moment. And actually, that's one of my proud moments for doing something physically difficult.
And a pilgrimage often contains an element of that.
Yes. A little challenge. Yeah.
This was it.
And this was it.
And you were joined by 50 others.
I know, crazy.
How remarkable is that?
It was so beautiful. Let's put the photo in with this so you can see.
Yes.
And then the last bit, the very last bit, which took a lot longer to get to than I thought. Iona is a tiny island off the slightly larger island of Mull, which is slightly south of Skye. And in my head, I thought, you just get a boat. And no. Back to the mainland.
Oh.
3 hours of driving, because you have to come out of the mountains, down the main road, back across the mountains, because the whole of the west of Scotland is mountains.
Right.
So it's not as easy as just scoot down. No, I've got to go in, down, along. A boat to Mull, drive across Mull for an hour or two, a second boat to Iona.
Wow, that is a trek.
Yeah. So if you want to go to Iona, which I recommend, you have to really want to go to Iona. And Iona, I always knew was going to be the end point, the final destination. And you cross over on this tiny boat. You can't take your car unless you, I believe if you have additional needs, you can apply for a permit to take a car.
Okay.
But the tourists generally don't take a car. And it's right on the most westerly, in the middle of the sea. And the quality of the air is different. There's droplets of rain in the air, so the moisture content's really high. So you can't really see clearly.
That feels quite liminal, the way you're describing.
Liminal, yes, liminal.
Yeah.
So it's
a bit like Bardsey Island when
yes,
you were there.
just like that.
Or Mizzle in Scotland, and in Cornwall.
It's got like that drizzly drich that they call it drich in Scotland, like a little bit wet, but not raining.
Yeah.
But the moisture content in the air made it all sparkle. Plus, it's quite flat. So again, you've got this full panorama of sky. Plus, because you've got these islands and outcrops, and you've got the Atlantic and the Irish Sea, weather fronts blow in and leave really quickly.
Okay.
So you'd see, it's going to be rain in a minute. I think I'll go down to the cafe then, have a cup of tea and some cake. 10 minutes later, whoosh, and it's gone.
Wow.
It's gone again.
Okay.
So I can see why people had always been pilgrims to Iona. The idea, you know the phrase, the veil is thin, we say it at Halloween.
Yes.
If you follow Celtic traditions. The veil is thin between this consciousness and another consciousness, or between this world and the spirit world, or whatever your sense of other is. And people have been pilgrims to there long before Christian churches. There's obviously something about the vibe of the vibration, the vibe of that land that makes people want to go. And you feel like you are in liminal space, this crossover space. And the rock is different. The rock there is red granite. I don't know if you know much about the properties of granite. Did you know, for instance, the pyramids in Giza were lined with black granite? The tunnels,
oh, really?
the channels inside is all black granite. So black granite has a high vibrational frequency.
Is it quite conductive as well?
Very conductive. And I think they've used it for a lot of... we still don't know things, yeah? We still don't know how they built the pyramids and that sort of thing. But there's something to do with qualities of rock. And red granite had something about it that was very, again, powerful. I've got a piece I could show you, but maybe we'll get that later. Which I borrowed from the island. So this, what to say?
With the red granite?
The red granite.
There was something about it on the
So
island.
the abbey, the nunnery and the monastery that were built there, really early, something like 500 or 600, maybe before AD.
But if they're built of granite, they're going to last forever.
They're going to last forever.
And the abbey's
been
Is it stone dressed or something? Is it that?
I think it had got ruined at some point, and they'd reinvested and rebuilt it, and the monastery. And you can the Iona Community Organisation, the holy place there. They are ecumenical. All religions are welcome.
Wonderful.
And I've never come across this.
That's rare.
So you can go and work on the community. You could go and have a week's contemplation, your own pilgrimage there, and stay at the monastery or one of the places connected with the community, help with the community. And the people who come for these pilgrimages take it in turns leading services or creating services in the abbey. There are services in the abbey at 9 o'clock every morning and 9 o'clock every evening, every day.
Wow.
And when I went, it didn't feel only Christian. It felt of everyone, of the land. It was very elemental. So lots of talking about water, earth, fire and air. Lots of that kind of words.
Yeah, those kinds
Really
of sensibilities.
powerful, really I went to a 9 p.m. service because I was really interested. That was amazing.
Really?
Absolutely amazing. And I stayed the night in the Iona pods, which are these beautiful little wooden, like the shape of an upside down boat, that you can hire to sleep in. And then wrote the songs on the beach the next morning.
Wow.
And it was magical. It's the nearest I've had to a spiritual epiphany in my life. It was one of those really special places.
Gosh. Yeah. And you hear that about Iona a lot.
Yes.
There's something there.
There is something there. And I think my interpretation of it was that it was a combination of this water-filled air and the elements whipping it all up, and this granite, which feels really powerful.
Grounding as well.
Grounding, yeah.
So you've got the ethereal liminal and the solid sort of strength of the grounding granite. Wonderful. And then people coming together no matter what their
backgrounds,
background.
It was really, really impressive.
It feels timeless and also a bit New Earth kind of feels.
Feels like something positive for the future.
Yes, yes.
When so many people are getting heavy feelings of the negative things that are happening in the world at the moment.
Feeling hopeless.
Feeling hopeless. This feels hopeful.
Yes. So let's focus on what we can.
What we can do.
Yes.
So got a little shimmer for that one, thank you. Let's be hopeful. Let's sing songs, let's dance, make art, go on walks, eat together, cook together, all those things.
Grow together.
Grow together.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love this, Morag. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to tell my story.
I can't wait to hear all the songs. And it's a very beautiful project. Thank you for co-creating it. Say to the camera, thank you very much, Morag.
Thanks, love. Love you. Love you too. You're a star.